would go by the receiver. Receiver is someone who decodes the message by understanding and interpreting the message. So receiver is always at the receiving end when it comes to message. What is the job of the receiver? To take the message, to get the message, to receive the message, and to decode it and to make it understand to himself or herself first. If the person is not able to understand the message, then the decoding fails there itself. So therefore it is the job, it is the duty of the sender to encode a message in such a form that the receiver can understand the message. It means the message received by the receiver should be simple and lucid to understand. Should be easy to understand, should be, there are other factors which should be kept into mind, such as the language. The preferable language should be used. Cultural sensitivity should be kept in mind. The familiarity should be kept in mind. The right kind of vocabulary should be kept in mind. And accordingly, the right message should be constructed so that the decoding process or the job of receiver to decode the message becomes simple. The next is acting. The receiver puts the interpreted message into action. So whatever the receiver understands from what the sender has sent, he would make it into the action form of it. Let's move to the another PPT or the another slide rather. The two-way communication process. This process is more pragmatic. This process is more practical in nature. This process is more significant. This is the process which we practice in our day-to-day lives. Let's understand rather what is a two-way communication process is all about. To begin with, the two-way communication process is more rational or logical approach to it. The two-way concept of communication is more contemporary. It means the two-way concept of communication is more practical, is more applicable, is more applied in day-to-day life. It considers communication to be a reciprocal process. Reciprocal process means once it goes, it comes back. Once it goes, it comes back. And a mutual exchange of message. That means it doesn't ceases. It doesn't stops. It doesn't get stagnated. It goes on and on as far as it is required. It makes no sharp distinction between the sender and the receiver because the same person plays both roles often simultaneously. Now this is very, very practical. For example, I would give you my own example. I'm conducting a class of communication. I'm teaching a concept of communication. I'm explaining a new concept of communication. Students are listening to me. So the concept which I'm supposed to explain, it is an idea. It is a thought which I want to explain it today. So what I would do, I would construct the idea, I would construct the thought, I would construct the message in such a manner that my students can understand it. So I would come out with a new definition. I can come out with a new explanation. So I am the sender. The idea is in my mind. In my mind, I have encoded the message and now I am going to speak it out. So when I am going to speak with my students on one-to-one basis or with the entire class, it is going to be the face-to-face communication, which is going to be my channel. Once I start speaking, the students are going to listen to it. Now there's a difference between listening and hearing. We'll come to know more about listening and hearing in the coming chapters. But listening is when you do hearing with proper attention, with care. So you are going to listen to me and you listen the entire concept. Once you are listening to the concept, you understand it. You try to decode whatever I have said. You try to decode whatever the sir wants to explain. You try to understand what is the meaning of that concept in the language what sir has said to you. My intention, my focus, my entire focus would be on the language part so that you can understand in the most easiest form existing. I'd like to explain into the most simple form. You'll listen to the concept. You'll understand the concept. And once you are decoding, that means you are understanding in your mind. Once the decoding is taking place in your mind, as a receiver, if you do not understand the process, you'll ask me the question in the form of feedback. So it is going to be a feedback for me that no, this XYZ student has not understand the concept clearly, or he has some doubt, and then I will explain the concept. So what happens? While I was explaining, I was the sender. The students were my receiver. Students were listening to the entire concept. I could understand from the body language what is their feedback is all about. But once my communication or my thought process of sending ideas was over, the student started to communicate and he became the sender when he asked a doubt. And I was the receiver to listen to his doubt. So he encoded the message, that is his doubt. I received the message, I decoded, I tried to understand what his doubt is, and I replied to him. When I replied to him, I became the sender and the student became the receiver. Student counters the question. Student asks one more question. So now once again, the student becomes the sender and then I become the receiver. So sender, receiver, sender, receiver, sender, receiver, it goes on. And that is nothing but a reciprocal process. And it is very pragmatic and practical. Two friends are talking and they want to decide about what they are going to do next week. Or let's say two managers are talking and they are going to finalize about the next week's meeting. So obviously there would be exchange of messages and this entire process would be very fast. That means the moment my idea comes into your mind, you frame it into a message, you encode it, you quickly transfer it to the best medium available or channel available. The other person receives it, decodes it, and again sends the message. So sender sends the message, receiver receives it, receiver receives it, understands it, and becomes the sender and again send it to the receiver. So sender, receiver, receiver, sender, this entire process would go on. And that is nothing but a reciprocal process. It is going to go on smoothly till the time both are into a state or a condition where they can understand each other's message. The moment there would be a doubt, the communication would stop for a moment. Next, would like to talk about the two-way communication process, which we have already discussed. The two-way communication process or the two-way concept of communication is more contemporary. It considers communication to be a reciprocal process and a mutual exchange of messages. It makes no sharp distinction between the sender and the receiver because the same person plays both roles often simultaneously. So we have already read this. I have again read this in order to make you clear what is the distinction between the three types of communication. So it starts with the sender. So you can see that the cycle is going on. The receiver sends the message. It is transmitted through communication symbols. Communication symbols goes through the communication channel to the receiver and goes on and on. So if I want to clearly tell you what is the difference between the linear concept model, Shannon and Weaver, and the two-way communication process is very simple. Now listen to me with careful attention and pay your focus, pay your attention to me, pay heed to me. Linear means single process of communication. When I talk about the linear process, that means it starts with the sender, it ends with the receiver. That means there is no participation of feedback. It is linear, it is plain, it is in a single form. When I talk about the Shannon and Weaver model, feedback is there. But apart from feedback, according to Shannon and Weaver, noise is one thing or is one barrier or the physical distractions which is going to affect the communication process. Shannon and Weaver model says that the message sent would be different from the message received. It means message is going to be getting distorted by any of the barriers in the process, and noise is considered to be the one of the barriers as far as the Shannon and Weaver model is concerned. Last but not the least, two-way communication process, which is more contemporary in nature, which is more practical or pragmatic in approach, which is more rational or logical, and which you can connect with. So sender sends the information, receiver receives it. After receiving the information, receiver becomes the sender and sends the information to the other person. So sender becomes receiver, receiver becomes sender, and the process goes on and on. So it becomes a reciprocal cycle. So I hope you have understood the difference between all the three processes of communication. One is linear, second is Shannon-Weaver model, and last but not the least, two-way communication process model. Let's go on with the next point. Classification can be classified based on the following. That is sender. You can see at the center elements of communication, and we can see sender is there, encoding is there, channel is there, receiver is there, decoding is there, acting is there, feedback is there, and message is there. I would like to go through each one of them, so please listen to me carefully. The sender, I would first start with the sender. The sender has an idea. You conceive an idea and want to share it. A teacher has been given the task of explaining a concept. He first reads the concept and then understands it. This is the first phase of process of communication. The sender transforms the idea into a message. That is the encoding part of it. So second, I am explaining the second element, that is the encoding. When you put your idea into a message that your receiver will understand, you are encoding, deciding on the message from word, facial expression, gesture, length, organizational, tone, and style, all of which depend on your idea, your audience, and your personal style or mood. Once the teacher understands the concepts, he translates it as in his mind in the form of verbal structure or syntax. An active process of transforming the idea or the concept into the message is the second phase of the process of communication. Next comes the channel. Channel is the channel and medium you choose depend on your message, the location of your audience, your need for speed, and the formality of the situation. Once the idea or the concept is given a shape in the mind, the immediate task would be to translate the message. To do so, a communication channel is used which involves both verbal and non-verbal communication. In the third phase, we would like to talk about, or in the next phase, we would like to talk about the receiver. The receiver gets the message. For communication to occur, your receiver must first get the message. If you send a letter, your receiver has to read it before he can understand it. If you are delivering a speech, your audience has to be able to listen to you and pay attention. Once the teacher communicates the concepts to his students, the students need to pay attention in order to listen and process the communication. Next comes the decoding part of it. The receiver interprets the message. Your receiver must cooperate by decoding your message, absorbing and understanding it. The decoded message then has to be stored in the receiver's mind. If all goes well, the message is interpreted correctly. That is, the receiver assigns the same basic meaning to the words as you intended and responds in the desired way. Understanding the concept follows by listening to it. Here the student makes an attempt to actively understand the concept. This understanding is nothing but interpretation according to communication researchers. Next, the researcher reacts, that is the acting part of it. Just now we have completed decoding. Now we are moving on to the next part, that is acting. The receiver reacts and sends feedback to the sender. Feedback is your receiver's response, the final link in the communication chain. After receiving the message, your receiver responds in some way and signals that response to you. Feedback is the key element. That is the next part. After acting, we are talking about the feedback. Feedback is the key element in the communication process because it enables you to evaluate the effectiveness of your message. If your audience does not understand what you mean, you can tell by the response and refine your message. The student responds to and gives a feedback to the teacher either verbally or non-verbally. This is how the communication is completed. So I hope you have understood the entire elements of communication, which begins from sender, goes to the encoding, then the channel, then the receiver, then the decoding part of it, then the acting, then the feedback, then the message. Let's move on to the next slide, that is the main components. Now these main components are nothing but what we have discussed right now. We'll go through the main components, which is given to you in the more simpler language. Idea or input, the information or ideas the sender wants to give to the receiver. Sender is the one who wants to send the information. Message, the actual message that is sent. Encoding selects a common language that can receiver understand and encodes the information. Main components continued. Channel selects an appropriate medium or channel such as face-to-face dialogue, letters, faxes, telephone calls or electronic mails. Now it is very important to understand that whatever channel you choose should be appropriate according to your message, should depend upon the content of the message, should depend upon the urgency of the message. For example, I would like to talk about the first, that is face-to-face dialogue. For example, if I want to communicate something which is very important, something which requires my presence, something which requires my input, that is face-to-face dialogue. So face-to-face communication would be the most important part of it. Second is letters. If I want to communicate something to the person who is living far from me, possibly in the other state or district, and urgency is not there, I can communicate through letter. Nowadays we have the facilities of speed post and register AD, through which we can send our letters